What's up? Somebody's like, they love the background. I'm like, for real? All right. Welcome to the background. Now, anyway, the reason why we're doing this video here, I don't know what this is. Hopefully I'll win. Uh-oh. It's having a hard time getting some reception, I guess. Hard time for people to get in here. So maybe the reception idea in here wasn't a good idea. I don't know if the bandwidth is low or maybe they just don't want to do it. Now, this is what I want for the rest of you guys. I want to know what the general public thinks. Forget about the championship hat I'm wearing. Forget I got Klay's name on here. Forget that I have all of these things going on right now. What I want to know from the general public, who's better, Jimmy Butler or Klay Thompson? That's all I really need to know. I've had this argument with many people. I know the truth, but I want to see what everyone else's reaction would be. Who are you picking? To the person who mentioned rings, go have a seat and don't come back to the conversation. Now, who is the better player is the question. I already know this answer, but I'm very interested to see what the general public would choose. I've already seen the truth. I've seen it with my own eyes. Yo, son, I seen it, son. Like the 20-inch Venus, son. Seen it. Yo, son, you seen it. Klay Thompson has a better jump shot. I would say that. Out of the two, Klay has a better jump shot than Jimmy Butler. Is Klay Thompson a better defender than Jimmy Butler? No, I wouldn't say that. He's a very good defender, though. I will give him credit for that. But he has a lot of help, and that helps out Klay a lot too. But he's not Jimmy Butler. Now, I'm not saying Klay isn't a good basketball player at all, but Klay is the. If it wasn't for Klay, they wouldn't have made it to the NBA Finals to play against the to Cleveland Cavaliers, defending their title that second time around when they won the 73 games in the season. When they beat the Bulls record. For a system, give you Klay. For taking a game over, you need Jimmy. Klay has taken games over before. Klay has scored 60 points in 3 quarters before. So we've seen Klay take over games. Right. He scored 37 points in a quarter before. So we've seen Klay take over games. Like I said, if it wasn't for Klay last season against Houston, Klay Thompson came up big against the Houston Rockets when KD was struggling and Steph was struggling. He came up big when they were down 3-1, or what was they down 3-1 in that series? And Klay went to work and saved them when they were on the brink of elimination. Every time they've been on the brink of elimination, Klay has stepped up. But who's the better player between the two? I will definitely take Jimmy Butler over Klay Thompson. Why? It's a very tough question, J. Cool. I bring this up because a friend of mine and I had this conversation via text message, of course. And having this text message conversation going back and forth, this was not going anywhere. He's anything basically against Jimmy. But to say Klay is better than Jimmy when he should know better. Well, you put Jimmy Butler has never played on the same court with somebody like Steph Curry, Draymond Green. You put Jimmy Butler on the Golden State Warriors and take away Klay Thompson, and you will see what I mean. Listen, the photo that you're looking at, the photo that you see in the picture with Jimmy and Klay Thompson was all the evidence I needed. Do you know where that is from? That's the USA basketball practice. That was USA basketball practice. And you want to know what happened there? Jimmy Butler was guarding Klay Thompson. Do you want to know what happened to Klay Thompson in that game? Do you want to know what Jimmy did to Klay the entire game? He was up in his chest. He dogged him. He scored about 20 something points on Klay. It wasn't even Klay tried to hit a three from half court. He was so frustrated he couldn't get rid of Jimmy. Jimmy was clapping in his face. He was mentally here. He was living here in Klay's head. And that told me something. Jimmy has the mental capacity than Klay. He's mentally stronger than Klay. Jimmy controlled the entire game and dominated Klay. Klay was down, sunken. because his shot wasn't falling. So he mentally checked out. It was a good looking shot. It was rimming in and coming out. It's close. But it showed me all I needed to know. If I ever needed something to say one player was better than another, that practice is it. But because Klay is on national TV, he gets all the press, you guys will think there's a no-brainer. Klay will drop 50 on Jimmy. No, he won't. No, he won't. Matter of fact, go watch the Timberwolves versus the Golden State Warriors game. And if Jimmy's guarding Klay, use that. Look at when they played for the Bulls. Jimmy had to guard Klay. Klay, yeah, would Klay Thompson have taken the Timberwolves to the playoffs like Jimmy did? Who believes that? Who believes that? Who here believes that the playoffs, Klay Thompson would have took them to the playoffs like Jimmy did? Jimmy got hurt after the All-Star break. The Timberwolves was in fourth place in the Western Conference playoff. Matter of fact, they were third. And Jimmy made the All-Star team going from the East to the West. But Jimmy was so tired and injured, he couldn't even play in the All-Star game. And everybody's like, Jimmy, you should have stayed home. But everybody talk about how great the Western Conference is. Jimmy Butler made the team. You put Klay on the East and see if Klay can make the team. Okay, there's a Golden State Warriors fan. He's delusional. Klay's the top 5 shooter in NBA history. Top 5 shooter in NBA history. What does that mean? Do you believe that? I doubt it. He's probably top 5 in today's league. Probably, I said. Now, we've never just questioned, was he a better shooter than Jimmy Butler? Right now, Jimmy Butler's shooting a better percentage than Klay Thompson. He's shooting 40% from the three. He's shooting 40% from the field. Jimmy Butler is basically outplaying Klay Thompson. But Klay just happens to be on the Golden State Warriors. So even the two-way players, Jimmy's number 2. The best two-way player there is right now is Kawhi Leonard. Number 2 is Jimmy Butler. The whole league knows this. But yet, people are still saying Klay is better. Why? Because he plays on the Golden State Warriors. I'm wearing the Golden State Warriors championship hat, and I'm here to tell you that that is a false narrative. That narrative does not exist. There's no way on this planet. That's a false narrative. I like Klay Thompson, but he could be mentally checked out of a game. Jimmy's never going to be mentally checked out of a game. Okay? So let's just keep those things in perspective. Look at J. Cool. J. Cool, no. I'm walking around thinking of an argument. No, I'm actually putting up the clothes I wash. I actually wash my own clothes sometimes. Or I take it, if I ain't got time, I take it to the cleaner. Got rich and didn't die. Got kind of rich. I got a little something. Not what I should have. Who destroyed the Bulls? Butler did it. If you think Jimmy Butler destroyed the Chicago Bulls, you are a complete idiot. First off, Chicago Bulls are a terrible organization. Terrible. And they're ran by a guy who's a known flat out racist. Well, let me rephrase that. Reinsdorf, there's just certain things Reinsdorf would allow and wouldn't allow. There's a certain place he feels people of color should be. And definitely not running his organization. He didn't want to pay Michael Jordan, who took his company that was in $1 million company where they were worth about what, 200 million, maybe when he was with the Chicago Bulls, $100 million team or whatever. When in 1984, when he retired in 1998, the Chicago Bulls were worth like $2.3 billion. So he took a team and upped their value. And you're going to tell this man he's not worth the amount of money of you're writing him a $35 million check. And you're telling him no man is worth that amount of money. Then why are you a billionaire? That man made you that money. And Jerry Reinsdorf said that to Michael Jordan to his face while he was writing him that check. And that stuck out so much to Michael. Michael put it in his book because it pissed him off more than anything. And it made Michael say, I should have charged him more. Every player and everybody in the league. I wasn't a big Michael Jordan fan at all when he played for the Bulls. I hated the Bulls. But here's the thing. Michael Jordan made the NBA money. He brought Gatorade over. He brought all that stuff over here. The league didn't have any of these endorsements. They didn't care about the NBA. They cared about Michael. You think Gatorade said, okay, we're here for the NBA? No, they were there for Michael Jordan. Then they became the official drink of the NBA. The whole league should have been cutting Michael Jordan a check. I am from Chicago. That don't mean I root for the Bulls. I hated the Bulls. Bad boy Pistons, baby. Don't ever get that confused. Bad boy. Detroit Pistons. Motor City Bad Boys. The greatest team ever assembled. Now, what destroyed the Chicago Bulls? Winning 6 NBA championships. That's what destroyed the Chicago Bulls. Who would break up their team after winning 3 consecutive championships in a row? They would break their own team. Who would do that? Michael wasn't ready to retire. Scotty was there. You didn't want to pay Phil. You just broke the team up. Dennis Rodman, you could have kept Dennis Rodman. Rodman was still grabbing 20 rebounds a game. Still in his prime. One of the best defenders ever in the history of the game. He was a difference maker. And to see Dennis Rodman in that light, in that area of range, you're like, wow, okay, this is what we're talking about. The organization split it up because they didn't like winning championships. They don't want it. They felt like once we won 1 or 2, we're good. The organization, now we got something to stand on. Now we got to pay all these players if we keep winning championships. That's not something we want to do. Sign ourselves to long-term contracts. That's not what the Bulls are about. They just rather go to the playoffs and lose. Now they make a lot of money. Do you know the Bulls are like the 3rd highest earning team in the NBA still as far as revenue and merchandising? Because people are still buying Jordan jerseys. Think about that. You go to the Bulls store, you see none Chicago Bulls 23. Chicago Bulls 23. They're still making money off Jordan. They even put some Scottie Pippen jerseys out there. The Bulls only want to go to the playoffs. They don't care about winning no championship. If they happen to make it be a success, it's going to be by accident. The Bulls want to sell tickets. That's it. So when you have an organization that don't care if they win another championship, they'll post those 6 championships all day long. They live up. They good. Reinsdorf do not care. They will need a whole new owner to come in there and turn that ship around. Watch them. They got great players now. What happened every time they get great players? They be like, man, this player is so good. We got to get rid of him because he going to ask for some money. And they paid Jimmy the money because they thought Jimmy's a good homer. Jimmy grind when he was here. He played hard every game. That's Bulls mentality. We'll play that one player to stay a Chicago Bull because everybody will keep coming in. We'll be competitive. We'll get to the playoffs and lose. Yeah. Go Bulls. All they need to do is create that false narrative. So what they can't do is have a whole bunch of losing seasons because then the tickets are starting to drop off. So then they got to spend that money for that magical year. Like, we got to go get some old one-year veterans. Throw them all on the team. All right, Bulls are serious this year. Then what happened? They go down. I don't even know how these are out here. I don't even remember wearing these khakis. I'm wearing the Jim Harbaugh khakis. Would the Pistons have won 3 championships if Isaiah Thomas didn't get hurt? Uh, I think at that time there was nothing that they could do. The league had compiled everything that they were never going to beat the Chicago Bulls that year. The league couldn't afford to let it happen. That was the first year in the NBA's deal with NBC with Dick Ebersol, who only took it over because of Michael Jordan. CBS owned the NBA at that time when the Pistons were winning the back-to-back championships. The Pistons won the last championship under CBS. That's when it was real basketball. And then it went to NBC. It became a joke and a show, but it was impressive because I will give Dick Ebersol that, who's known and won Emmys for making theater and Saturday evening and Sunday night programming for theater. He brought the theater to the NBA. We had inside jam, inside stuff, and then you started to see the theater of the characters. They were showcasing the athlete more. And then with the introduction, we all can't forget that. And every Saturday or Sunday, you were going to see the Chicago Bulls. Period. There was no doubt about it. The Chicago Bulls will be that game that you're going to see every Saturday or Sunday. There was no nights off. The feature game will be the Chicago Bulls. The NBA on NBC started in the 1990-91 season when they signed a major contract with Dick Ebersol and NBC. Dick Ebersol retired and quit in 1998. That just happened to be the last year Michael Jordan won the championship. Corruption? Corruption in the NBA? Baby! I don't even think I need to talk about it no more. That's how bad it is. The whole world know how bad it is. Brother, if you think the Indiana Pacers didn't get jobbed in that 1998 playoffs when they suspended Jalen Rose for putting a half a foot over a line because Jalen Rose was killing the Chicago Bulls. Well, for the for the first time, they had a player who could get to the second level. You know, they had Mark Jackson. I call him non-dribbling Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson couldn't dribble to save his life, but he never lost the ball. Non-dribbling Mark Jackson. But you wasn't gonna rip the ball from Mark. Mark Jackson got the ball way back here, and he up here. Then, then his shot. Non-dribbling Mark Jackson. He got a lot of assists. The Knicks gave up on him, and he went to Indiana, and they beat Indiana because he's sitting there telling all the secrets. Because he was salty, they gave up on him. D Money, what's up? I mean, we all knew what would happen, but Indiana had opportunity there to put LeBron James and them away last year. LeBron James' decline this season is monumental and staggering. How bad he's played. They play the Spurs tonight and San Antonio. Now, I doubt they do the whole Texas, triangle. I don't know the rest of their schedule, but the Lakers are the only team in the NBA to go that long without doing a back-to-back. Everybody else was playing back-to-backs in like their second game. It took them like 3-4 games before they started playing back-to-backs. And their back-to-back was Phoenix and back at home in Los Angeles. Wow. That's a real back-to-back. Meanwhile, Denver has played all those games, Golden State, All these games in their past 4 or 5 games, they were exhausted. So I already knew what that was about. And people acting like they won the NBA championship. It's crazy. But going back to the Chicago Bulls, you said Jimmy Butler ruined the Bulls. How did he ruin a team that was nothing before he got there? Derrick Rose was incredible when he came out. Derrick Rose is another LeBron James type player. They got by on the athleticism, and Derrick can jump out of the gym. And he always had knees problems. Even when he was played the 1 year he did when they went to the national championship, and he missed the free throw that would have won a national championship. So for his one and done, and then going to the league, the Bulls knew we got to take. Everybody said you should take Beasley. Beasley was the better proven player in college and everything else. And I thought they should take Beasley. That was my choice. I said, look, take Beasley. Because, and the reason I was basing it because of the simple fact what happened with the Eddie Curry debacle. When they drafted 2 7-footers, Eddie Curry and a guy who's playing in Phoenix who's still in the league, Tyson Chandler, who I can't believe is still playing. I saw him in Phoenix. I'm like, he's still in the league. That's how shocked I was. He was still in the league. I was like thinking of anybody that could be still in the league. You could take a guy on a 10-day contract to have him out there. The only reason he's out there is because he's 7 feet, I guess. And that's just by nature. I don't even think he was like the only 7-footer I know that wasn't getting any blocks. I'm like, you're 7 foot and can't even get a block? Point guards are coming up scoring on you? So they put him down in Phoenix where no one will see him play ever. So he's all the way in the abyss. Now, that used to be the Grizzlies. When you were a Grizzly, you on your way out the league. That was like the last stop from purgatory. All the bad NBA players who was bad locker room guys, Grizzly. Why am I a Grizzly? Next thing you know, contract up. All right, you're out. Well, wait a minute. Nope, they just put you here till your contract's out. Thank you for playing for the Grizzlies. Good night. Bonzi Wells was with his bags like, what happened? Bad attitude players were shipped out. I don't know about Vancouver. Toronto's a good city. I don't know too much about Vancouver. Anytime you start to go over and they start talking French, I'm like, I'm out. I don't know what they talking about. There's a lot of different things that are in play when you start talking about situations that people don't know about. Like, okay, I'm trying to figure out what is D Money talking about himself. Y'all got me intrigued. Let me get a seat here because I'm trying to see what in the world is he talking about. You say Ray helped. Ray helped what? We've already assessed Klay Thompson's not better. Jimmy Butler's the better player. Oh, Brian Big Country Reeves. Big Country. That was like their first big player, too. If Big Country could stay in shape, he'd have been all right. You say it was LeBron that got Kevin Durant to the Warriors and Chris Paul. I mean, see, they don't do that. Oh, you're saying because they turned down the cap smoothing. Okay, Jason, get back in the pits. You're gonna be right back in the pits as soon as this playoff series is over. Listen, even if they approved it or disapproved it, let's say they didn't approve it. Okay, let's say they disapproved it. Let's say that you thinking about Kevin Durant. Think about the people that you're talking about that's involved. See what I'm saying, D Money? They were already doing that. Cap smoothing is how LeBron was able to go to Miami, and they were able to get Chris Bosh, and they were able to get all these other players. So they couldn't talk down on the system that they were using. So Kevin Durant already knew that system wasn't going to get taken down. They're not going to ever take that down. Why would they vote against it? They love that. No, no, no. They didn't have cap space. Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and Bosh all agreed to take the low. LeBron took a 3-year deal for 30 something million dollars. So did Dwayne Wade. Then they could renegotiate after 2, 3 years. You don't need cap space anymore. You could pay above the cap and pay the penalty. Look at Golden State. Look what they able to manipulate. Yes, people are over the cap and they pay to be over the cap. The Cleveland Cavaliers were over the cap every year. LeBron James was there. Every year in the last 3 years, last 4 years, he was in Cleveland. The owner had to pay the penalty for being over the cap. That had nothing to do with the Larry Bird rule. Only the Larry Bird rule says that you can pay one player some whatever you felt like paying. You can do the Larry Bird rule and just pay that guy flat out. But no, they had to pay $100 million a year for being over the cap. If rings determine who was the best player in basketball, then Robert Ory would be in the top conversation. He's not even in the Hall of Fame. He's had big moments, and he's responsible for my Detroit Pistons not getting a ring, and I'm pissed about that. We'll have 4 championships right now if it wasn't for Big Shot Bob, because we had Game 6 all won, and we took the foot off the gas. That's one ring the Spurs got that was ours. I knew the series was over right then and there. I said it's over. And I felt bad, McDice. You played your heart out. That was your chip. They robbed you. Well, Ori robbed you. You from Detroit and you rooting for the Dodgers? Do you know how that's all types of wrong? Cino be winning, don't he? Cino was winning. That boy was winning. Gold digging. She was digging for gold. She didn't find any. She was digging. We was there with Paris Hilton and some other people there. At least I think it was Paris Hilton. I was wondering what that liquid sound was. I thought it was in my belly. My cologne. I was like, my cologne in my pocket? What do I need this for? If you don't have a Mercedes, you should always at least smell like one. Mercedes. Run my check, Mercedes. Somebody sent me the funniest video on Instagram. I laughed so hard. I literally peed on myself. It's something with Conor McGregor, man. That was crazy. But like I tell you, man, Jimmy Butler has locked down He has locked down Klay Thompson many a times. I mean, straight locked him down. Mentally got in his head. The photo you seeing is from the practice when he really dogged him. Showed him like, look, you ain't, no, not on me. You can forget that. Now I ain't gonna be able to find it no more. That sucks. Oh, this sucks. I don't see it. Somebody had the funniest video ever. Yes, this is it.
Fuck your daddy. Fuck your religion. Worship. Important. And fuck you. So you want to disrespect my country and my religion? Oh shit! No, 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 no! Come to your fucking life to disrespect my country again. I'm just trying to sell paper milk. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck. Help! My mother. Her day. Help! Dana White. My sister. Drake. My cousin. Get this nigga the fuck off me. Oh, thank God you saved me. You guys over here. You want some more, you leprechaun bitch? No, sir. You fucking Muslim. I want to smoke too, bitch. Oh, shit, security, get that nigga. This is for my country. Get the nigga to that too.
That's the funniest video I've seen. My man said, you want to sell your little leprechaun? It's no, sir. Oh, I just try to sell pay-per-view. Shut up. Let's talk now. Oh, punched it right in his face. Oh man. No, I haven't even had a drink today. So no, I'm very clear-minded when I said Jimmy is the better basketball player. Klay is a better shooter. That's it. Defense, he's there. He's all right. He's a good third. I'll put him third as a two-way player. The 0-1 Lakers versus the 2017 Warriors. 0-1 Lakers by far. They would win in a blowout. That team has Kobe Bryant. Kevin Durant versus Kobe Bryant. How do you think that's going to play out? You can't touch anybody in this league. In 2001, they could touch you. All right, let me come in here and address the people who've actually donated to the page. Let me see who's donated to the page. Bruh, man, what's up? And you just did it too, like earlier today. Thank you for that Lonzo video, cause he will win all the 50-50 plays for us, especially against the Nuggets. Stealing the ball, driving on the floor, making the pass to the assist. Keep it going. Shot town love. That's my man, bro, man. And Thomas Felton came through. What's up, Sino? Hope your day is going well. Don't even trip on the Lakers win last night. You know the league has to allow that to happen for storyline. Please do the. Oh yeah, that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. I will do that video though. But that's tough. And Mr. Clemens, I did see yours. J Biz, Goo Roach came in. Goo Roach came in heavy. I mean, he came in heavy. Okay, Goo, I see you. So he went and stormed back in the first place. But the person who made the most donation, 13 in this month, is Thomas Phelps. And Pearl just made one big one. The Pearl came through like boom. There you go. The Pearl. Mr. Sledge came through 3 times, like boom, 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 and took first place. Guru Roach is coming back. He might come back and do something at the end of the month. Hey, even broke people put up $1. Eric Johnson, he come through religiously with his dollar, and I appreciated it. And he think I don't remember. Eric, I remember you always come through. So anybody want to leave me a message or email and all that stuff, definitely put it in the donation. Click the button. I mean, Eric has sent me emails. That's how crazy. I like. That's how crazy that is. Off $3, he put $1 in religiously. Like, yo, man, that's all I got. Hey, man, I appreciate it. Anybody putting up $1, $2, $3, hey, what you can afford. Zeno don't gamble. He wins. Yeah, see, this is back when Jimmy Butler was busting Klay in practice. It was great. I was watching him dog. If you look at that picture, Jimmy was dogging him. He was physical. He was all up in the chest of Klay, making Klay put the ball on the ground. Klay's not comfortable with somebody playing him that way. Jimmy is very comfortable playing that style of basketball. If Klay was a first option basketball player, he would probably average 15 points a game. Klay is a no dribble shooter. The less dribbles Klay have to take, he take one dribble, pull up, shoot. Now, if you can get that for Klay, yeah, he's in a great rhythm. But when Klay got to put the ball on the ground and make a shot happen, he's not necessarily the guy you want to fall up on. So, with that being said, I'm out. Jimmy wins. So go ahead and click that link in the description box. Make a donation if you can, and leave me a message and everything else. Oh, the Pack gonna go all right. They finna go all the way and take a beating by the Rams. That's what they finna go. Yeah, they finna go all right.